Okay, so ready to dive in. Today, we're looking at a really unique way to approach learning English and Spanish.
Sounds good.
We always get a bunch of different materials from listeners, and this one was about EduKT iLS. It's called EduKT iLS Empowered Learning, and the work of Tommy Galvez, who is, it seems, a language coach.
Yeah.
So
we've got a good amount of information straight from EduKT iLS. They sent us an outline of their services, a testimonial, all that. And then we have Tommy Galvez's professional profile, which is really interesting. Gives us a good picture of his background, the specific methods he uses, how he approaches this whole language coaching thing.
So if you're listening along to this today, our goal is to kind of break down this Ball.io language coaching method that EduKT iLS talks about. We want to figure out what makes Tommy Galvez's approach so unique, and then most importantly, we want to see if this could be a potentially effective way for you to finally achieve those language learning goals you've got, those ones you've been working towards.
Exactly. So let's jump right in.
Yeah, let's do it.
First off, EduKT iLS. Right off the bat, they're very clear that their focus is helping people improve their English communication skills.
Okay.
And one of the things they highlight first is their class Prueba Gratis, that's free trial class, which specifically emphasizes the power of this BIO methodology.
BIO, it sounds like an acronym. What are the core components of this methodology? How do they break it down?
Well, according to their materials, BIO is all about 3 key stages, right?
Okay.
First, you've got input, which is all about listening and reading, so, how you're perceiving the language.
Okay.
Then there's output, speaking and writing, so how you're actually producing the language.
Right.
And then, you can't forget the third crucial component, practice. And they make it very simple. Practice and practice.
Practice makes perfect, or at least better.
That's it.
So it's a pretty straightforward cycle, right?
Yeah.
You take in the language, you use the language, and then you repeat. You reinforce that learning. So what kind of services do they build around this BIO framework?
They offer a range of services, actually. They've got language basics for the people who are, still building that foundation.
Sure.
There's conversation coaching, which is aimed at boosting fluency and confidence in speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is really interesting. They also have these new education platforms that touch on areas like SEO, branding, and marketing, which I think really shows that they see strong communication skills as crucial in all these different professional fields.
It's a good point. It's not just about, speaking the language. It's about how those language skills really underpin so much of what we do professionally in so many different areas. But it sounds like their core offering, the thing they really push is this beyond traditional learning, BIO language coaching, right?
Exactly. That's exactly it. They're very clear that this coaching combines their BIO methodology with personalized coaching for both English and Spanish. And that personalization, that's a big thing for them. They really emphasize tailoring each program to, your individual learning style, your goals, and even your pace, how quickly you learn.
Yeah, it makes sense, because with the generic approach, it can be hard to feel like you're making progress.
Right.
So this tailored aspect, combined with that whole input, output, and practice cycle, what kind of learning experience are they promising here? What can people expect?
Well, they emphasize engaging exercises, which makes me think it's going to be a more active approach, not just passive learning.
Right.
They also highlight expert feedback, which is so important because that's how you identify those areas you need to improve on, to make sure you're on the right track.
Yeah, you need that guidance.
And then finally, they promise ongoing support so that you can build that confidence, that real confidence in your ability to communicate.
That's huge, that ongoing support. Okay, so that paints a picture of their approach. What about actual results? Because they included some testimonials, didn't they? I'd love to hear what people are saying about this.
Yeah, they did. And the feedback is really, overwhelmingly positive. So we've got a testimonial here from a guy named Luis Torres.
Okay.
And he says that EduKT iLS's BIO language coaching, quote, completely transformed his language learning experience.
Wow. Completely transformed.
Yeah. He specifically points out the personalized approach and how it helped him achieve fluency faster than he thought possible.
That's amazing.
He also praised the engaging exercises and the continuous feedback. So, he found the whole process enjoyable and effective.
Completely transformed is a pretty powerful statement. What about the other testimonials? Did any other themes emerge?
Well, Mario Hernandez, that's another testimonial we have. He mentioned being really impressed by how well Tommy understood his specific goals and learning style. He found that the BIO methodology, combined with the personalized coaching, was incredibly effective, he says. He also really appreciated how flexible the program was, how it could adapt to his busy schedule. And he said that he feels confident that he will reach his goals with EduKT iLS.
That flexibility is so key, right? I mean, so many people are trying to balance work, life, family, and then learn a new language on top of it all. So it's got to be flexible. And what about the last testimonial?
This one comes from Anagara. She felt that EduKT iLS not only improved her language skills, but it also really boosted her confidence, like significantly.
That's great.
She described Tommy's coaching sessions as invaluable, those were her words, and she really highlighted the personalized support and encouragement that she received. She said she's excited to continue her language journey with them.
That's awesome. And, you know, all three of these testimonials gave EduKT iLS a perfect 5 out of 5 stars.
That's right.
That kind of consistent positive feedback really speaks volumes.
It does. It shows they're doing something right. It really seems like people are happy with this blend of the BIO framework and the personalized coaching.
Yeah.
So you want to dig a bit deeper into the expert behind all this, Tommy Galvez.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's get into Tommy Galvez. So he's listed as a Professor Plus on this platform called Tus Clases Particulares. I'm curious, what exactly does that Professor Plus designation even mean? What does that tell us?
Well, being a Professor Plus means that the platform has verified his identity and all the information he's provided, so you know it's legit.
Okay.
He also needs at least 10 student reviews, which is a good sign. You know, it means people are happy with his work.
Yeah.
And then, maybe most importantly, he's committed to responding quickly to inquiries, within 24 hours, so you know he's reliable.
That's great. So it's a mark of trust, responsiveness. You know, he's the real deal. And he has a 5-star rating, right? From quite a few reviews.
Exactly. 5 stars from 25 reviews, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, definitely.
The platform also lists all the different types of classes he offers, which, by the way, is not just English. He also does Spanish language, lengua, and even business administration, administración de empresas. So that tells you he has a pretty broad academic background.
He does. He really does. And in terms of availability, looks like he offers classes throughout the week at all different times of day.
Yeah, his schedule seems super accommodating. You know, whatever works for you. He also makes it very clear that he offers the Primera Clase gratis, the first class free, which, you know, we saw that with EduKT iLS too.
Yeah, free trial. Okay, let's dive into his actual professional profile now. He describes himself as a language coach nativo-bilingual and a specialist in the development of communicative skills in English, with more than 25 years of international experience.
Whoa.
That's serious experience.
Yeah, that's a long time. He goes on to say that his mission is to empower professionals like you to communicate in English with clarity, impact, persuasion, and strategic intention. So, you know, it's very specific. He wants his clients to be able to use English effectively in a professional setting to achieve their goals.
So it's not just about, you know, learning grammar rules and vocabulary lists. It's about being able to actually use the language to get stuff done.
Exactly.
How does he actually help people get there? What's his approach?
Well, he focuses on using personalized methodologies, which makes sense given everything we've seen so far. He wants to help his clients express their ideas confidently, develop their own unique communication style, and really stand out as, you know, effective global communicators in all these different settings, academic, personal, professional, about being a well-rounded communicator. He also points out that he has a bicultural background. He's from Venezuela, but was raised in the USA. And he uses that perspective to create flexible learning frameworks that are adapted to each person's goals.
It's so interesting, that bicultural background. It must give him a real advantage in understanding the nuances of communication across different cultures.
Totally.
He also lists his competences clave, his key competencies. What stands out to you there?
Well, one of the things that jumps out is that he specializes in developing English communication skills for adult entrepreneurs and professionals.
Right, so again, we're seeing that focus on the business world.
Exactly. He's not just teaching English to anyone who walks in the door. He's targeting his services towards people who need to use English in a professional context.
Yeah.
He also mentions over 20 years of experience leading educational programs in 5 different countries.
Wow.
And this includes things like curriculum design, team leadership, and all these different teaching roles within different educational institutions. So that tells me that he understands how to structure effective learning experiences.
It's not just someone who speaks English, right? This is someone who really understands the broader field of education and program development. What about that third key competency?
Okay, so the third one he highlights is his proven track record of training over 100 executives, entrepreneurs, and professionals.
Wow, 100.
In those key areas like giving presentations, navigating intercultural negotiations, improving written communication, and of course public speaking.
Really those crucial skills.
Yeah, and that really highlights his expertise in these practical, real-world communication skills that go way beyond just knowing the grammar and vocab.
Absolutely. So we know he has the experience. We've established that. Now, how does he actually go about teaching and coaching? What does his metodologia educativa look like in practice?
Well, he starts with a free introductory session, which makes sense, right? We've seen that emphasis on personalization.
Yeah.
This is a chance for him to assess your needs, figure out where you're at, and also for you to see his teaching style.
Sort of like a try before you buy situation.
Exactly. And then, after that initial session, he develops personalized learning plans that use all sorts of different techniques. And the aim of these is to build your confidence, teach you vocabulary that's specific to your field, and focus on practical application in real-world situations. You know, things like meetings, interviews, presentations.
This is very targeted.
Yeah, very much so. And it's directly relevant to what you need to do with the language in your specific context.
Love that. What else does his methodology focus on?
He's also big on developing active listening skills, critical thinking abilities in English, and building cultural fluency. All of this is aimed at making you a better communicator overall. It's not just about speaking the language, it's about understanding the cultural context, being able to think critically while using the language, you know, truly understanding and being understood in all these different situations.
It's like he's trying to create well-rounded communicators who can not only speak English, but actually understand the nuances, think critically, and really connect with people on a deeper level.
Exactly. And then he concludes his profile by inviting people to reach out and work with him to, you know, improve their English and achieve their goals, whatever those goals might be. He also mentions that he offers both in-person and online classes, and he states his hourly rate and reminds people about the first free class.
So let's bring it all together. What have we learned today? EduKT iLS, they offer this BIO methodology for language learning. They're all about that input, output, and practice cycle. And they deliver this through a personalized coaching framework. Now, Tommy Galvez, he seems to be a central figure in all of this. He brings a ton of international experience to the table, and he's got a very tailored approach that's designed to help professionals like you communicate effectively in English for real-world purposes.
That's a great summary, and I think it's important to connect this back to you, the listener. You know, you want to learn efficiently, you want to get a deep understanding of things, you appreciate different perspectives, and you love those ha-ha moments. But you also don't want to feel overwhelmed with information.
Right.
And this approach, you know, the way EduKT iLS and Tommy Galvez go about it with that strong focus on personalization and continuous feedback, it seems like it's designed to be both effective and manageable. And the testimonials, remember how positive they were? That suggests this method can actually help you build language skills and, really importantly, boost your confidence.
It's all about confidence, isn't it?
Yeah.
So thinking about your own language learning journey, what aspects of this BIO method, what aspects of Tommy Galvez's background, what really stands out to you? What are you thinking about right now?
I think it's really fascinating how clearly they connect language learning with practical communication in the business world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tommy's experience training executives in things like negotiation and public speaking, it shows that he really gets how strong language skills translate to real results. And then the BIO methodology itself that focus on input, output, and practice, it's so straightforward but also comprehensive. It just makes sense.
It does. It really does. So what does all this mean for you, the listener? Well, think about how this emphasis on personalization and feedback aligns with your own learning style. The testimonials we looked at, they point to real results, real progress. And Tommy Galvez, he has the expertise, the experience to guide you.
And that brings us to a really important question, a quick one for you to think about. What aspect of your English communication would you most like to see a real transformation in? Is it clarity, impact, strategic intention? You know, how you use language to achieve your goals. Because a personalized coaching approach like this, it might just be the key to unlocking that next level for you, that next level of proficiency and, you know, communicative power.
I love that. That's a really powerful thought. Thank you so much for exploring this with us today. We hope this deep dive into EduKT iLS and Tommy Galvez's approach has given you some good insights and maybe some ideas for your own language learning journey.
Absolutely.
Join us next time for another insightful exploration right here on The Deep Dive.